you should have not a moving problem, but a 9 plus 4 times 2 is 8, and then plus 6 divided by 3 is 2. 17 plus 2 is 19. Pick a number from 1 to 5. The winning number today is 3. If and only if you showed all of your work for all of the problems for your homework, then you can bring it up and have me check it. 19 out of 20 had homework. So 19 would be 95%. Not bad. Here are the answers. We'll go through questions after we go through the answers. Put a check mark beside the one that you have right. Number 1 is 5 feet. 2 is 6 feet 7 inches. Alright, here's a review of one of the homework problems. We have to find the average, right? Okay, so if we need to find the average, we want to convert all of these to inches to start with. So if I convert this one to inches, you'll end up with 40 inches. And then this next one is going to be 121 inches. And then the next one is going to be 75 inches. Did everybody get those inches for their problem? Yeah. Okay. Then from there you have to add them up to get a sum. 121 and 75 is 196, so you should have 236 inches for the total. Did you get that? Okay. Now you have to divide it by 3. So divide 236 by 3. And 236 divided by 3 in your calculator, 78. There we go. 78 and 0.6 repeating. Now that's the average, but in order to convert it, what we want to do is get rid of that decimal right now. So instead of leaving that as a 0.5, which I'll let you count on your homework today. One of those other problems had a 0.5, I think. But what you would do at this point is round this to the nearest inch. What is the nearest inch from this? 79 inches. And then from there you would convert that to feet and inches. So it would be 6 feet 7 inches for the final answer. 3 is 7 feet 6 inches. 4 is 9 feet 4 inches. 5 is 6 feet 8 inches. 6 is 1 foot 6 inches. 7 is 1 foot 7 inch. 8 is 2 feet 5 inches. 9 is 7 feet 10 inches. 10 is 2 feet 10 inches. Now, are there any questions? Today's objective: use units as a way to understand problems and to guide the solution of multi-step problems. Choose and interpret units consistently in the formulas. Choose and interpret the scale and the origin in graphs and data displays. Today's knowledge targets: calculate unit conversions and recognize units given or needed to solve a problem. Here's example 1. Alright, to solve this problem for the second time, because I fouled up the first time, you're going to have to look at your words per minute and then the words per page. You have 105 words per page, and he can read 130 words per minute. So you're going to divide 105 by 130 and come up with 0.80769230077. Do not round that. Leave it the way it is. Leave it in your calculator and multiply it by what to find out how long it's going to take him to read the book. The number of pages, yes, so that's 435 pages. Okay, so when we multiply that out, just hit the time sign since the decimal is already in your calculator, and you should come up with 351.3. Only go to one place, one decimal place, and that represents minutes. What should I do to these minutes?
You should divide them by 60.
That's right. But I'm going to do something else first. Remember the problems from yesterday that came out to be decimals? What did we do? Round it to the nearest minute. What is the nearest minute here? 351 is right. So 351 minutes, and now we do what to it? Divide by 60. 351 divided by 60 is going to be 5 point something. So we have 5 hours. And what do we do with that 5 hours to find out what's left over? Yeah, multiply it by 60. 5 times 60 is 300. So what's the difference between 300 and 351? 51, yeah. So 5 hours and 51 minutes. Yes?
What did we do after we got 5 times 60 equals 300, then what did we do?
What we did is we found the difference between 351 and 300, so you subtract them, and we come up with 51. Are there any other questions about this problem? Okay. Another one just like it. Well, in this problem we have 80 words per minute, and the book is 262 pages long, and it has about 120 words per page. So what we've done is we've, off camera, we're just now starting to record, 120 words divided by 80 words per minute gives us 1.5 minutes to read one page. And we just determined that we have to multiply that by the number of pages, which is 262. So when you multiply 1.5 times 262, you come up with 393 minutes. And that is not a decimal, so there's nothing to round there. 393 is the nearest minute. What do we do to 393? Yeah, we'll divide it by 60. So 393 divided by 60 comes up to be 6 point something. We know we get at least 6 hours out of there, but what do I do to find what's left over? Multiply 6 by 60 to come up with 360. What is the difference between 393 and 360? 33. Six hours and 33 minutes is the answer. John can read about 105 words per minute. The book he must read is 720 pages long. If the typical paperback has about 160 words per page, how long is it going to take him to read this book? Alright, we need the number of words, which is 160, and the words per minute is 105. So 160 divided by 105 is 1.523, and so on, all the way out. Just leave it all in your calculator. And multiply it by the number of pages, which is 720. That'll give you 1,097.1, which to the nearest minute is going to be 1,097. And we're going to convert that to hours and minutes by dividing by 60. If we divide 1,097 by 60, we come up with 18 hours and some minutes left over. To find those minutes, we multiply 18 by 60. 18 by 60 is 1,080. What's the difference between 1,080 and 1,097? 17 minutes. Right. If you have this answer, come up and point it out to me. The answer to the bonus should have been 2. Alright, it takes Sarah 55 minutes to drive from her house to another one that is 37 miles away. And how long would it take her to drive to Julie's house, which is 120 miles away? What type of problem is this? What would you use to solve this problem? It starts with a P. Proportion, yes. And did you have proportions last year? Yeah, so this is a review for you, but if you're still stuck on it, the way that you know it's a proportion problem is that you have 55 minutes, 37 miles, and then you have 120 miles. So you have 2 units in there that are the same, one that's different. Even after that, the words how long indicate what measurement in this particular problem? Does it indicate time or does it indicate distance? Time, right. So if what the unit that's missing here is what? Miles or minutes? Minutes. So this is a simple proportion problem. This is a blank proportion. And whatever unit you put on the top right, you put on the top left. So if I start with 55 minutes, if I have minutes here, I must have minutes straight across from it. And if I put this 37 miles, which directly pertains to Sarah's trip that took 55 minutes, if I put 37 miles here, then I must also have miles there. How many miles is the trip for which we don't know the time? 120. And what are we missing?
The minutes it takes to drive.
Yeah, the minutes it takes to drive 120 miles. So what do I put in there if I don't know the number? X, that's right. You could have written this problem with minutes on the bottom and miles on the top. But what you cannot do is put minutes over minutes and then miles over miles. That's not going to work out. That's going to cause some problems. Okay, so what we do next is cross multiply. 37x equals 55 times 120, which is 6,600. What do I do to solve for x? Yeah, divide 6,600 by 37. And 6,600 divided by 37 is 178.3. I only go to the tens place and round it to the nearest minute, which is what? 178, yes. Now what must I do to it? So let's divide the 178 by 60. In other words, we're converting this to hours and minutes. 60 will go into 178 twice, which is 2 hours. What is 2 times 60? 120. And what's the difference between 120 and 178? 58 minutes, yeah. You could have also done this in reverse. 3 hours is how many minutes?
180.
Yeah, 180 minutes is 3 hours, so you know you're at 178, which is 2 minutes short, so 2 hours and 58 minutes. Either way, that's the answer. You can take pictures of this, half and half, or problem by problem, or get it from the internet. If you need a paper copy, I'll print some off.